Welcome, Second Baptist, to Family Check-In. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for being patient. We had a little delay today, but we announced that at 11 o'clock. We're starting at 7:30. So please let everyone know that we will be, that we are on, and we got a great program for tonight. And it's just good to be back. I want to thank the Townsends for standing in for me on last week when we were returning from Africa and trying to deal with the jet lag, and they did a wonderful, wonderful job. We are thankful for each and every one of you for praying for Sister Daisy and I while we were in South Africa and Malawi. And we're going to, next week prayerfully, we will have some pictures. We're going to discuss our trip to Africa, mission trip to Africa, which was, we had a wonderful, wonderful time, and you're going to enjoy it as well. It's going to be very informative, and so that's what we're going to do next week. But we're really thankful this week. We do want to make a few announcements. We got a really good program tonight. Got a wonderful guest, a great friend of mine who's sharing with us, Kaleem Shabazz, who's going to be talking about the upcoming NWCP convention. Historically coming to Atlantic City is a big, big deal, and we want to talk about that tonight. But before we do that, there's a couple of things we need to do. I want to remind all the men that next Monday night at Sunny Days Farm, the Men's Fellowship, we're having a men's cook-off, and we're asking all the men to bring their specialty dish. And we're going to have a great time of fellowship. That's going to be next Monday night at 6 o'clock, and we're inviting all the men of Second to come and share with us. We got some friends that like to come. All you have to do is bring a dish, and we're going to break bread together in fellowship. We're looking for a good many of you to come, and we're going to have a great time. Also, we do want to remind you that August, the fourth Sunday in August, we're going to have our church anniversary and homecoming service at 8 and 11 o'clock service. That's the fourth Sunday in August, and that Saturday before the homecoming celebration, we're going to have a big church cookout at the farm, at Sunny Days Farm, and we're going to have a great time. We're making great preparations for you. It's all outdoors, and so it's going to be safe for everyone. We're going to have a pool for the kids and slides and everything else, and we're going to have great activities for the adults. Another time of fun and food as we celebrate God's goodness and God's mercy toward us. We were blessed today. Our Sister Daisy's not with us today. She said since I had Kaleem on, she said she wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise, and so Kaleem and I are great friends. We talk all the time, and so she begged out today, but she's going to be back next week, ready to go, talking about her experience, her first time in South Africa and Malawi, and so we're really looking forward to that conversation and sharing some additional videos and pictures with you that you have not seen that I didn't share while we were there. But we had a wonderful time in service today. The Lord blessed us richly, and I'll tell you, the choir did a magnificent job this morning. And so after you hear the selection from the choir, for those of you that might have missed it, we'll be right back with the Atlantic City president of the NAACP and the local chair of the convention. He's been has served an integral part in bringing the convention here to Atlantic City and organizing. So we're going to hear from him and talk about what to expect next week with the convention. So, but before that, be blessed by the choir. I know you enjoyed that. We really were blessed by that, and really they sang our text that we preached from today, the Jabez prayer, and I hope you, if you have not heard that message, please get it. I believe it'll be a blessing to you. But we're grateful today to have one of my longtime friends, one of my longest and oldest friends in this city, my council person, Kaleem Shabazz. Welcome, Kaleem, to the program.
Reverend Dace, thank you so much for having me. I am honored and pleased to have the opportunity to be on your platform again. And welcome back from Africa for you and Sister Days and the whole contingent that went with you.
I appreciate that, Kaleem. You know, I remember we met. You were the first person to stop by my office when I came to Atlantic City, and we have remained friends ever since. As a matter of fact, you took over my office, and now I think it's your office and your secretary, and I just come in every now and then to check in. But we want to thank you so much for sharing with us. Kaleem, you have been the president of a local branch of the NAACP. You're my third ward councilman. And of course, I'll say again, one of my longest friends here in Atlantic City. We've done a lot of different things together over the years. We've worked together and still work together closely on a lot of different projects. You have been tremendously supportive to Second Baptist and the ministry of Second Baptist, and and you're no stranger to Second because you come here and visit with us all the time. But we want to talk about first of all, before we get to that. Tell us how you got involved in activism in your life. What spurred that?
Okay, I'll give you the summary of it. And again, Reverend, as you said, we have been longtime friends and brothers and associates. I have been involved in civil rights and social justice activities for, I would say, over almost 5 decades. I started in the NAACP Youth Council under the leadership of advisor Mr. Edgar Harris, who has since passed away. And I would tell people, and it's true, and we have still some people around who can remember and bear witness to the fact that the Atlantic City branch Youth Council was one of the biggest branches, not only in the county, not only in the state, but really on the East Coast. We had literally hundreds of young people who were actively involved as members of the Atlantic City Youth Council. And I was always drawn to social justice issues, to the civil rights, to speaking for others. I was reminiscing with my sister in D.C., Sandra. When I was in high school, I would clip out pictures of the Black Panthers at that time, and H. Rap Brown and Stokely Carmichael, who were civil rights leaders, and Dr. King, and put them up in the dining room to sort of inspire me. So the Youth Council was an active organization that I happened to be in the leadership of, and that's what really started me being involved in civil rights, being involved in social justice, being involved in civic engagement, and trying to make things better for everyone. And I carried that all the way through high school and into college when I went to Cheney State. It was Cheney State College at that time. It's now Cheney University, and we were active. That was the 60s. I guess I'm dating myself. That was the 60s. That was Vietnam. That was racism. That was civil rights. Dr. King and all of the advances that we now take for granted. I was actively involved in a leadership position. I'll say this to sort of wrap that up. I was telling the mayor on his radio program, one of the things I'm proudest of is right after the opening of resorts, people wanted to bring a South African-based casino to Atlantic City. Sun City, you'll remember, was the segregated city in South Africa where they had apartheid all over the country. And people wanted to have that subsidiary of Sun City in Atlantic City as a casino. And I heard about it. I happened to be, at that time, working as an organizer for welfare rights. We formed a coalition of people, broad coalition, and we said, no, you cannot have a South African-based casino in Atlantic City. That won't happen. And at that time, I was asked what was the most controversial thing I've ever done. I think that must have been it, because at that time, the state government in New Jersey wanted the casino. The business community statewide and locally wanted a casino, and that was the beginning of the casino era. But we pushed back. I was honored to speak at the UN in the Special Committee Against Apartheid against the casino, and it never happened. So I think that activism, Reverend, has been part of my DNA for a long, long, long time.
You know, I was, since you made mention of Sun City, I've been to Sun City in South Africa. And just coming back from South Africa, we went to Soweto and toured the museum dealing with the fight against apartheid. We visited Nelson Mandela's house, Bishop Desmond Tutu's house. But you know, I was in South Africa. I've been going to South Africa for a lot of years, and I went to South Africa 3 years during apartheid, and having the opportunity to see that kind of injustice imposed upon a whole nation of people was just amazing. It was unbelievable to see that and witness it. And thank God I was also able to see, I was there right during the election time of Nelson Mandela, and to see the difference and to change the hope and, you know, of the people when Nelson Mandela was elected. Matter of fact, I brought back one of the ANC presidential campaign posters from Nelson Mandela. But we want to talk to you about, there's something big that's coming to Atlantic City that you've been working on for years, and thank you. You put me on a committee that I never had to show up to, and you know, for the NAACP convention coming to Atlantic City. Tell us about it. You know, I know they've been on a hiatus for 2 years because of COVID. This is the first convention after 2 years, and I know it should be big and exciting. So tell us about the convention.
Well, Reverend, I'm glad you said that. And the only reason that committee wasn't more active was COVID. That's one of the committees that you got away from that I put you on. But I got a couple more coming down the line that you'll be more active in. The convention, we are super excited about. It will be the 113th convention of the NAACP. And I believe personally it's going to be a very, very large gathering. As you said, the last two conventions have been virtual. This is going to be the first convention in 3 years that will be in person. And I think people are excited. People are calling me from all over the country wanting to come, asking about rooms, asking about events, asking about speakers. So I think there's going to be a convention that's going to be very substantial. A convention that's going to be very forward-looking. Convention is going to be very impactful. The theme, as you know, is "This is Power." This is power. So I think the theme speaks to the day. We have some very, very critical issues facing us as people of color and this country, and we're going to speak to them. Today, I interviewed, along with Yolanda Melville, Esquire, our co-host, our national chairman, Leon Russell, on the NAACP radio program. And Chairman Russell said that he is ready to come to Atlantic City. He's looking forward to it. We have over 75 resolutions, Reverend, 75 resolutions that speaks to things that the NAACP is going to be doing in the coming year. The resolutions are debated and talked about in the plenary session. They're voted upon, and they become the guideposts in what the units will be doing. The NAACP has 2,200 units in 47 states, the largest, and I would suggest the most influential. Face in the country, and that will be the marching orders and instructions for units all over the country. So I'm very, very excited. As you said, we've been working on this for over 3 years to bring this convention to Atlantic City. And I just found out today this is going to be the 4th time that the NAACP convention has been in New Jersey. In 1922, it was in Newark. In 1955, it was in Atlantic City. In 1968, it was in Atlantic City. And again in this year, 2022, the National NAACP Convention is going to be here. Super excited. I believe that Vice President Harris is going to be here one day next week. Of course, the governor's going to be here, and a number of other influential leaders will be here at this convention. And I am just so excited for them to see Atlantic City, for our Atlantic City audience to come out. to be engaged and to be involved. And I want to make an announcement about Friday, Reverend July 15th, this Friday, about a special event that we're going to have, and we want people to come out to.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute, Colleen. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going to happen at the convention? When does the convention start? Tell us some of the sessions that's going to take place, and how local people can take advantage of participating, going, and seeing these speakers. And I'm hoping that President Biden is going to come. I don't know how in the world he's going to miss this opportunity. He needs our help even more now. And so can you just tell us, give us some detail about the program?
Oh, absolutely. There's going to be a number of very, very interesting workshops. There's going to be one that I can think of right offhand that a lot of people would be interested. It's going to be a health workshop by one of the leading doctors in New Jersey. That's going to be the speaker there. The health workshop is going to be very, very vital. There's going to be a workshop on student debt, which affects a lot of us. There's going to be workshops on the disparity in economic development. There's going to be a workshop on reparations. There's going to be a workshop that for people who are seeking CEUs if they're in the legal profession. There's going to be a workshop on educational parity. There's going to be numerous sessions that people can get involved in. And also it's going to be the Atlantic City Experience, which is going to be free for people. The NACP Experience. NACP Experience that's going to be free. It's going to have a health pavilion, and there's going to be an authors pavilion for authors who have written books, and there's going to be various vendors and all. This is going to be free of charge, and people can go online, NACP.org, NACPconvention.org, and they can register for the events. They can register for a day. They can register for the whole convention. They can register for different activities. If they want to do the prayer breakfast, if they want to do the Spring Guard dinner, which is the last dinner, if they want to do some of the luncheons, they can do that. And they can register for the convention after the 16th, which is the official opening. But I wouldn't suggest that you wait till the 16th, because a lot of the special events that you want to go to might be sold out.
You know, Kaleem, it's very exciting that this convention. How many people are you expecting to come to the convention this year?
And that's a good question, Reverend. We think that there might be a slight uptick in the attendance. The last convention that was held in person, I believe, was Baltimore, and they said it was about 6,000 delegates. And we're looking for upwards of 8,000 this year. And it's going to be a special time. And let me just very quickly break down. There's going to be three categories of delegates. One is going to be AXO. That's the younger youngsters from all around the country. AXO stands for the Afro Olympics, non-competitive Olympics, that in technological, that in cultural activities, that are in academic activities. And there's going to be 500 or 600 youngsters from around the country in AXO. That's one level of delegates. Then there's going to be 400 or 500 young professionals who are 21 to 40, which is the next generation leadership cohort. And then, of course, there's going to be, other than that, the general delegates. So all of these delegates are coming to Atlantic City to see This is Power, which is the theme. And I'm sure that our local contingent of observers will be very impacted by this. And as you know, we're working to bring our local youth, to attend the convention.
And I know that you have some sponsorship for our local youth, but if our local youth want to come, they're sponsored, but they have to. What are the qualifications for them? What are the conditions?
Okay, for everybody who attends the convention, everyone who attends the convention must be fully vaccinated. What does fully vaccinated mean? the national board that says fully vaccinated is defined as having two vaccinations, whether it's Moderna or Pfizer. That's the criteria, and you must have that proof of that. And the reason for that is that we are very sensitive to COVID-19, as we were talking offline. COVID-19, some of us are finished with COVID-19, but COVID-19 is not finished with us. So the national board is very concerned about that. So youngsters youth have to be vaccinated. Adult delegates have to be vaccinated. Anyone who attends the convention has to be fully vaccinated.
Well, we're still, as you said earlier, we're still in the throes of a lot of different issues in our community and our country, and many people have looked at NAACP, and I thank God I'm a member of the NAACP, and I encourage everyone else to be a member as well. But the NAACP is still relevant to today, with all the when we look at the shootings and when we look at the injustice against African Americans. When we start looking at redistricting and all of those kinds of things, we really need to be mindful of the importance of NAACP. What are some of the issues that the NAACP is going to be addressing at the convention?
Well, I'm glad you said that. One of the issues that we're going to be addressing, and sometimes it doesn't get as much attention as it should, is climate change and environmental racism. Climate change, we can see in Atlantic City when it rains heavily and it floods. We know from the recent floods that you worked on, the big flood that we had here about 10 years ago now. Superstorm Sandy ravaged this whole state, and really we're still recovering from it in many ways in Atlantic City. Environmental racism means that places where people of color live, they have more environmental challenges, cancer alleys, asthma at higher rates, breathing air that is infected. It's only one environment, and that's something that the NAACP takes a very strong position on, and we're going to be talking about that. That's going to be in the resolutions. That's going to be in the workshops. Gun safety. We see the rise in gun incidents, gun violence in the cities, gun violence by these white nationalists who are shooting people of color. Gun safety is an issue that we have to address nationally, and the NAACP is addressing that issue. Also, the issue of student debt. I talked about that before, but student debt plagues us all. I remember President Obama made a speech, and he said the only way he paid his student debt down was he had to write a book, and his book advance helped him pay his debt down. But many of us are not as fortunate as President Obama was to be able to write a book. So student debt is something that NAACP is taking a very, very strong position on, and encouraging President Biden to do as much as he can by executive order to reduce student debt. And that will help free up a lot of money in our economy and help people move forward in their lives. A lot of our young people, even though they went to college and even though they have a job, they're not making enough money to move forward, to buy a house, to start their careers. And so student debt is something that we're going to be focusing on also.
Well, that's going to be exciting. We're looking forward to convention, and I am planning on coming, to some of the activities of the convention as well, and seeing so many people. It's going to be interesting to see so many black folk in Atlantic City.
Absolutely.
For the convention, that's going to be great. You mentioned earlier an event that's happening on Friday. Tell us about it.
Okay, I want to especially stress this. A friend of mine in education, Reverend, said that sometimes in order to get things across to people, you have to mention it 3 times. So I want to say July 15th, Friday, July 15th, Friday, July 15th, Friday, July 15th. Friday, July 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. at St. James AME Church, which is on New York and Arctic Avenue, of course. The Atlantic City NAACP is proud to sponsor in partnership with NOBLE, which is the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, Black Law Enforcement Executives, a program that they do all over the country which is very relevant today. We see what happened in Akron, Ohio. We see what has happened all over the country, unfortunately, sometimes with police interaction with young African-American males. Excuse me. This program is going to educate people in the community how to interact with law enforcement. And I'm proud to announce that the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver, will be here to bring remarks. Also proud to announce that the Attorney General, Matt Placken, will be here. And also, last but certainly not least, the National Chairman of the NAACP, Mr. Leon W. Russell, will also be at St. James. It's free of charge. There's no registration. Just come on out. But we do say that you must wear a mask in St. James. And also, as an extra added incentive, we're going to serve dinner afterwards in St. James. But that's after. You must attend the entire event. And as another extra added incentive, Reverend, we're going to have 100 Ali bean pies, which is a taste that many people in our community know. So it's going to be a information-packed event. It's going to be free, and we encourage people to come to St. James on Friday from 5 to 7 on July 15th.
And what are the topics of that event?
Law enforcement. I think people will really be engaged by this because these are law enforcement executives who, many of them retired, some of them are active, that will be presenting this presentation as to how, first of all, how to act when you're stopped by police, how to respond, how not to respond, how to have your encounter with police be safe. Now, someone's going to say in the audience, well, President Shabazz, aren't you taking the onus off the police? No, we're not. The NAACP believes that police must be responsive, that police must be courteous and treat people with equity and justice. But unfortunately, sometimes situations escalate, and why we are insisting that the police do what they should do to de-escalate a situation, we want to equip our young people, and not so young people, our people to know how to conduct themselves in encounters with the police. And I can't think of a better group to do that than Noble, because these...
Now tell them what Noble is.
Noble is the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. It's a national association of people who have been chiefs, they've been deputy chiefs, they've been captains, they have been in command positions in state police, local police across the country. And this is what they are, their mission is. Their mission is to make policing better in the United States. And I believe they're doing a fine job. Our local representative is Chief White, who was formerly the chief of police here in Atlantic City. He is also a member of our executive committee in the NAACP here in Atlantic City. And he's been advocating for this event for a good while, and we are 100% in support of him doing that.
Well, you know, we got a new prosecutor in Atlantic County. Will he be there presenting as well?
The prosecutor is going to have a representative. He is going to be out of town with his youngsters. He's very committed to his youngsters. They play lacrosse and soccer, so they have a pre-arranged activity. But I'll say this about Prosecutor Reynolds. I've met him, and he has been very involved with the safety activities that we have put in place for the delegates. We've had several meetings, and he has been there, and I think he's going to be a good partner for us in Atlantic City to improve and continue to expand relations with law enforcement and the community.
I want to circle back for a moment to the convention. And one of the things that you and I have had discussion about, and I just want to know what the progress is in terms of, we got a black convention, basically not 100% black, but,
right.
a black convention coming to Atlantic City, NAACP, who's always about social justice, economic empowerment. Is there anything in place for the local minority business owners to benefit from the convention coming to Atlantic City?
I'm glad you asked that, Reverend. We have developed a guide that's going to be given to all of the delegates that will guide them to black-owned eating establishments. And I'm proud to say that City Swirls is back open, which is in my district. I went there and had a butter pecan ice cream, so we're going to that's on the list. We're going to tell the delegates, if you want ice cream, come to City Swirls. And of course, the Next Gen cohort that I talked about is going to have an activity at Kelsey's on Wednesday morning. They're going to have a breakfast for the graduates of Next Gen, about 150 Next Gen graduates who will be at Kelsey's restaurant. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do coming out of this convention. Really, three things. I had three goals out of this convention. Of course, a safe convention for all the delegates is one. The second was to make sure we have young people from the Atlantic City area involved, two. And then the third thing was to make sure that we had an impact on African American businesses. I'm happy to report that the state conference paid for a billboard from WEHA and radio commercials from WEHA, as we know, is a black-owned gospel radio station and community-oriented radio station owned by Elder Hawks and his wife. So that's one of the things we're doing. So we are trying to get other African-American vendors. Gain of Flores is another one, and that's one of the goals, to make sure that there's an economic impact after the delegates leave.
And I hope also, Clean, that you've listed the house of worships that are being open on Sunday morning, because it goes from Saturday to
to Wednesday.
To Wednesday, so they'll be here over the weekend. And I know you have a prayer breakfast at 8 o'clock, but at 11 o'clock services they can make it. So I hope that you've done that and prepared that. And if you have not, hang up something, say, if you need a church to go to, make it Second Baptist on Sunday morning.
I will make sure we do that, Reverend.
But we are really thankful to have you, Kaleem, to come and share with us today. Is there anything that you'd like to, parting words you'd like to say to our viewership?
First of all, Reverend, let me say thank you, thank you, thank you. Secondly, let me encourage people, please come out to our Friday event. It's free. We're going to have food. We're going to have good conversation from people who know what they're talking about. The, again, NOBLE, National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, will be making the presentation. You'll see the Lieutenant Governor. You'll see our National Chair. You'll see the new Attorney General. So I would encourage you for that. And I am so honored and pleased, Reverend, that you gave me this platform so we could talk about the convention, the 113th National Convention. This is Power here in Atlantic City. Let's welcome the delegates. Let's welcome the supporters. And let's have a great convention.
Thank you so much, Kaleem. It's always good to see you, always good to talk to you, and always great for fellowship. So please, everyone who can and will, please support the convention. Go. You will be thoroughly blessed, and and we tremendously informed. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing with us tonight. And I know you missed us today, as I miss her too, but I'll see her in just a few minutes. And next week we will be back, Sister Daisy and I, talking about our trip to Africa, and I know you're gonna be blessed by it. Don't you dare miss it. Thank you, Kaleem, also for mentioning City Swirls, the ice cream place. Come and support our young people. You know where they are. I'll tell you, I'm having a tough time with that apple, deep dish apple pie. I just had some on my way when I came in here, and I had some every day. I got to slow that down. But please support them. We look forward to seeing you Wednesday night. Thank you, all the viewers. Thank you, Kevin and all of you who are watching. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Next time we'll be on time, 7 o'clock. Bless you.